Injuries are a player's worst enemy. I mean, imagine the physical trauma, the mental turmoil. But what are its far-reaching effects? Who are those that also get affected? Welcome to Money Talks. I am Anishilewo, Jimmy Anishilewo, and I am here with Ayola, a football financial analyst.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Ayola. So, can you tell us how injuries affect both a player and the club?
Well, everybody knows injuries, like you just said, affect a player both mentally and also takes toll on your body as well. But most people don't know just how much clubs suffer when a player gets injured. If you think about it, a player while injured would still collect their full salary, maybe minus bonuses, of course, because they might not be able to attain the bonuses. But they will still collect every penny or every cent of their salary. And this has cost clubs quite a fortune. Just last year, there were about 4,000 injuries across Europe's top 5 leagues. And those injuries, according to Howden's men's European football injury index, it cost clubs in Europe's top 5 leagues 732 million euros just for paying salaries of players who were out injured. So that's how much it costs clubs every single time that a player gets injured.
Wow. So, can you give us a list of the clubs that are most affected by injuries?
Well, according to the findings from the study that was done, they found that although Bundesliga clubs are the ones who suffer injuries more often, they also found that clubs in the Premier League pay out the most money to injured players. First of all, due to the fact that they pay higher salaries, of course, and also the fact that they also had quite a number of injuries. I mean, across Europe top 5 leagues, there was an injury every 92 minutes. So you can understand just how much these clubs are suffering with injuries. If you even look back a few years, you'd find that from when the studies started in 2020, the 2020-2021 season, clubs have actually lost 2.3 billion euros just for paying player salaries. And like I said, clubs in the Premier League last season accounted for 44% of all the money that was paid to injured players, around 318 million euros paid just for covering the cost of having players out injured.
So, do these clubs get compensated in any way?
Well, it just depends on when the player got injured, because that will determine whether the club bears the brunt of the salaries or whether FIFA bears the brunt. If the player is injured while playing for the club side, then they have to pay the entire salary from their pockets. While if the player was injured on international duty, then FIFA will compensate the club the salary of the player. For example, Barcelona's Gavi suffered that ACL injury while playing for Spain in the UEFA Nations League, and his salary was covered by FIFA for that year and handed back to Barcelona as a compensation. If he were injured while playing for Barcelona, then there would be no compensation for the club and they would have to pay Gavi's salary from
So
pocket.
the league does not offer any compensation?
No.
Okay. So now you mentioned that when a player is injured, that they still get paid their full salary.
Yes.
But is there any situation in which the player can get additional compensation?
Well, it would depend on the contract that the player has signed with the club, and I'm sure there must be extenuating circumstances that would require a club to pay a player while injured or if he gets injured, but that would depend solely on what the player has agreed with the club, although it's very unlikely, or should I say rather very uncommon, for something like that to happen.
No. All right. Thank you. So according to Ayola, when football players get injured, they don't get compensated simply because they continue to receive their full salaries. So do you think that they should get additional compensation because at least they were injured in the line of duty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I am Anishilewo, Jimmy Anishilewo, and this is Money Talks, brought to you by LifeScore Bet.